space for excuses between us. It is not my intention to offend you, but please tell me where you stand. You are the Hydro Archon Focalor, are you not? Look at this. This is a list of the victims from the recent Poisson incident.
You mean they're all...
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen again. I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near Poisson. Do you know anything about those?
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. I don't know anything about that. But you found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
That's correct, which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4 slates, but one of them was missing. The other 3 feature different images that seem to correlate to the prophecy.
The prophecy?
The second of these slates depicts the previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you know nothing of this either?
I don't. I've never seen such slates.
I'll ask you again. Do you really have no information regarding the previous Archon? My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a certain sin. If anyone would know about it, it should be you.
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. Is it really so strange that I know nothing? I understand your concerns, but I'm sorry. I just don't have anything to tell you.
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations into certain matters. There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy on the sly. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But it is strange that you should also claim to not know any of Egeria's secrets, as well as do nothing following your inquiries. You have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be, nor are you a fool. And yet, your behavior is very inconsistent.
So you've been watching me all this time, have you? I didn't think you were that type.
You...
Well, since you know about my secret investigations, then you should know I'm actually working to take care of it. There's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix, but you're still my subordinate. You should be following my lead. Just trust in me, your Archon, and do as I say. Never mind whether you can truly convince yourself to or not. It'll all turn out fine. That's all I have to say. We do not discuss this matter again. Oh, the opera's about to start. Toodles!
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her.
I assume you've been outside for a while now?
Oh! You noticed! Seems Farina didn't even realize we were here.
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses time and again, a state of affairs that we cannot allow to continue. Still, I do not understand. Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so why did she keep refusing to engage? Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. The issue is her attitude. I fear that she will not reveal anything unless absolutely forced to. We may have to create a situation in which she will have no choice but to speak.
Oh? Like what?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the Hydro Archon experience just such a scenario.
But Farina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions. How do we make sure that she won't just slip away at the first chance she gets?
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties, and then do what we can. If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must prevent the prophecy from coming to pass. This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The But who will lend us their aid to do so?
Well, that's everyone, huh? Speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster, so it's presently devoid of people. That naturally makes it the best choice.
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in the world, huh?
That's what families should do. Sit and enjoy a leisurely time together.
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for a cup?
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you, friend?
Me? No, I don't think I can.
Then, how about you, good sir?
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as it is in court.
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things. Wonderful, the spotlight at last. I guess I'll be facilitating things from here.
That was a little long-winded, don't you think?
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, our friend here, the Traveler, has brought us together to discuss something. As for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together to create a series of traps.
Oh, how intriguing.
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand, and used on the spot. So, let's invite her to explain in detail. A round of applause, please.
Huh? Didn't you say that you would be facilitating this?
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice. You might even pick up some fancy oratory tricks to impress your boss with in the future.
I see. And what does my boss say?
He is glad that you consider him your boss. Do go on.
In that case, do any of you have experience hunting?
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette, Oh, right. You were sick that day, weren't you?
I've also gone diving to catch some fish before. Does that count?
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to a group known as the Marechaussee Hunters. Though that was their name, they did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of King Remus. Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society, taking up arms in other lines of work. They even left a unique methodology of hunting in their wake. A trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger, and a containment device. Sometimes a lethal implement will also be necessary to deal with the prey. So, if we were to build a trap together, right now, what would you choose to build it with?
For me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Pigeons and rabbits will see the bait and naturally enter the snare. Our line of work requires a deft hand, and we're some of the best in the industry, so you can count on our techniques.
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the bawling children.
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime. I'm quite the multitasker if I do say so myself.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods, like placing bait in the water and waiting for the fish to come within reach. That's the kind of method I would count on.
Calm and steady. Exactly the kind of person who would catch loads of fish.
And I can be their assistant.
With discretion, I'm sure.
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels, mice, and such. When placed in the forest, they can attract others of their kind. I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it. If they're realistic enough, animals of the same kind will follow them all the way to the trap.
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
I fear I do not have any related experience.
That makes sense. You usually solve problems directly, without the use of any such tricks. But I do have one more question for you, monsieur. If we were to create a trap now, how would you design it?
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey. A more gentle trap would be ideal.
Kind, as always. However, our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment device and the type of implement we need. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey that must be captured and safely contained.
Wait, why's that?
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it. The line that divides life and death is often exceedingly thin.
So are we going hunting together?
We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters. It kinda works, but maybe it's still not the best metaphor.
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, then the hunting metaphor is actually quite accurate. But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god, a being whose seat is an exalted throne.
Oh.
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon it's hard to say. After all, you're the most reliable did you just pour some... Then what's that? Paimon's never seen that...
Don't be frightened. Aw, have you...
Wait.
You're feeling lost now. Consider me a the prophecy.
What?
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eye. Just as prophecies are the things that you
What What is she...
I believe that you understand, right? Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what.
The voice. What? I want to hear someone talking. All right, coming. Hey, it's you who's getting...
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter.
Luna!
Fine, just not all fun.
Did she...
Why, yes. I'm in full support.
That's right!
Ah, yes. About what we... Huh? Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
She said that even the...
The Hex and Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. But I've never met her, and if she were still alive...
Whoa.
Their abilities alone...
Well, it's not like...
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but perhaps it is some... Traveler? Paimon?
Oh, we're fine.
I see. I guess you could consider me someone who has often witnessed, but even so, perhaps that's what En was trying to tell. I did originally think of steering clear.
Huh. You do have a point.
It was worth trying to... I suppose.
Paimon feels kinda moved by what Mona said. But also kinda sad, too. Hey, Traveler. Let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by.
Onwards. We have work to do.
Huh? Let Paimon see! The underwater... My recent attempts thus did an app... So while the fort journalist Charlotte... Huh. Charlotte took so... She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything. Ugh, seriously?
So these are the kind of headlines that go into these days.
We're here! Paimon... Hey, quick! Look! That's the limited edition, only 6... It was so delicious the last time...
One slice of cake, please.
Someone showed up after all! Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia.
Oh, are you here to buy cake too?
Wait, did he...
That's right.
Do you come here often?
Usually every day.
Every day?
It's part of my daily schedule.
Then what if someone...
But why would it close?
Well...
Oh, the profit. No, it's...
Huh.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have these 2 slices are for you?
Oh, you know C-Train?
I sure do. She said that I've got something else to do, so I'll...
And there she goes! Alright, let's dig in. Paimon It's more delicious. Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious.
Art is the key ingredient. Forget about me.
Oh, we're near the Seabird office. Let's go look for Charlotte and have a chat.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon! Oh, have you seen the article?
Ha! You've got some nerve!
Oh, you needn't worry. It's all right, though.
Really? Oh, you're the...
You're almost...
Oh, Paimon...
Still, what brings you here?
When Mona mentioned...
I see. So she mentioned me? What did she say?
She said that you're...
Nice. In which case, can this daredevil journalist dare to request an exclusive interview with the legendary Traveler and Paimon?
Huh? So your article in the paper today doesn't count?
Oh, of course it doesn't.
Yeah, are we?
Why not?
Oh.
Oh, so that's a yes? Ooh, splendid! I'll tell the editor and... Whew, so much to get done now.
Wait, Charlotte, Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If
you're serious... From what I've seen, most people don't know what they do. So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the... Just think about it. If this nation... And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that... I'm not a dreamer. But anyway...
That's so not... Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we? The sea breeze and scenery can be a pretty... Paimon's been thinking... If it wasn't Fontaine... No, Paimon should... We've always been moving to the next You mean... Still Huh. Feels like it'll grow, but it's still better.
Ah, so the two of you are still here.
Oh, you're from the Palace?
Yes, I'm Isadora. Monsieur Nervillac sent me to look... Not at all. I'm well aware that you're friends of his. Actually, I'm here to pass a... Yes, inside...
A riot?
Well, Lady Farina was watching a performance at the Opera House. And while she was resting during an intermission, some other audience members suddenly started harassing her, loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis. And before she could respond, others started to join in. The crowd continued to grow, and protests against the Hydro Archon started to break out.
So people have started to put the blame on Farina. Guess they finally found an outlet for the
I agree.
So what happened after...
Seeing that the situation... The Marechaussee Phantom...
So...
That's right. That said, I don't think there's good.
Don't worry, this...
Is that...
Well, sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then. If we know for... And as we all... When Nervillac was... It would be hard... Paimon thinks Farina... Huh! Well, what do you... In that case, there's not a moment to lose. This place looks deserted. Guess all the survivors must have evacuated already. All that's left here are signs of devastation. Could Farina really be here? That's Farina, right over...
What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Give up, Farina. There's no point in holding out. I'm sorry. But what can I even do other than to repeat meaningless apologies? Oh, who's that?
Don't worry, Farina. It's just us.
So it is you, blonde traveler from another land. Why, I almost thought you were someone from that mob of my ignorant subjects, come to kneel and beg for my forgiveness.
Farina, you were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
What do you mean, tear stains? Oh, I remember. The show at the Opera House earlier this morning was so moving. I'm still trying to process it. Who did that uncivilized rabble think they were? Disturbing my enjoyment of the arts. They even dare. Oh, and I'm sure new...
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are? They're just some rabid fans.
Farina just ran off! Quick, we have to catch... This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to Paimon before the rest of them catch up to you.
What is this place?
Hurry, they're almost here!
Fine. I suppose haste is warranted. Lead the way. I'm merely...
Yep,
what's happening?
Yeah.
It can't be...
Well, there's no need to...
Yeah, but the people have put... It's true. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all, but all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. Give up, indeed. Fate. But just now, it all, as long as the fight... Don't worry. Well, that's enough for now. Don't take any...
Come on!
Share. That's impossible. A witness. And if to that...
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without
do not forget, however, that I...
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
you would draw your blade... I see. It seems like you have made up your...
Paimon can't believe it.
What the heck is going on?
Wow.
Lady Farina!
It would seem that there has been...
Looking for excuses?
I raised my hands I'm sorry. You are not... But now, I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world this time. Applaud and mark my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine!
Woohoo! Oh, no! Why does it feel like Farina just took... Also, even though she's still acting so...
All right, then.
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that... Also, please allow just how much...
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the task.
Navia,
most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning, they changed into plain the people's resentment. Moreover, according to our... So
you...
And their goal was to...
That's right.
As the super ultimate version of this, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson was an arc. My thanks, Farina. Of course, this performance, we had to select a...
So, in other...
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster.
Then, I can get you gathered a crowd. Prepared also that as...
Yes, that is...
Well, Chlorand, I must... As for you, you'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor. Oh? It's fine. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial through.
Madam Prosecutor, please allow me to pass. This is a document.
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here. Oh, let Paimon see. Wait, so in other words, we can refer to... Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, all right?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duel you took part in. The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, just fast forward. Of course. It is only now.
That's true. But my charge here is unrelated to you instead.
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey.
Charge accepted. Lady Farina. Lady Farina.
I plead not. There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine.
Yeah,
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon. See? Even if you wish to...
An argument with near impossible odds, huh?
Well, and if I...
That doesn't sound... First of all, you...
Who gave you that?
A curse, but in light of this claim...
You sensed it too, huh, Nervalet?
Lady Farina...
Well...
Well, don't stop. Besides, for centuries, one need only to turn their eyes
That doesn't... You tried to...
Didn't I make myself clear at the time?
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder while the court is in... You will prove yourself... That was no trick.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty instead of having...
The real Hydro Archon. Well, no, it is true that I did not know, but the oratories handed out... You can't...
She's still throwing out...
My pal...
If that poses a concern...
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much less the authority of a god?
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons derive their power from the faith of the people. Thus did I...
Isn't that...
Yeah. No matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no...
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's...
Hey, come now, everyone. I'm still this... Please.
If what the prosecutor...
Did she deceive...
Enough. That's enough. Tell me then, if you have...
Wow. That doesn't sound... It has been
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can...
Miss Navia.
Super sorry, now. I've brought some seawater from Poisson, including those... So, if we are to believe that you are in... But, if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse... Oh, and I must remind... I do hope you'll act prudently, and choose the...
Navia from the...
If Lady Farina...
Lady Farina.
Well, of course he had to...
She's just...
What's going on?
Due to the inherent...
Hey!
I'm fine! Look at me, everyone! My hand is still here! Will you believe me now? I really am your Archon! I'm nothing like a normal human who would fall apart as soon as they touch this water!
Miss Siegewin? If you are present, Miss Siegewin, please come forward and attend...
Siege? Don't be nervous. It'll just take a few seconds. Let me see.
Please announce the...
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying... She was
Thank you, Miss Siegewin. Lady...
Oh, wait. What did she...
Well, however, after extensive discussion, we don't want...
Yeah, so it's a great thing.
I can't... Listen to me, everyone. Think about it. Also... Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your Archon.
I don't think anything...
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't...
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway me until she's too stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is... guilty. We shall now turn to the... According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique de...
Well, what's wrong?
No, the Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus: to be punished.
That's actually one of
the one and only
Farina's been...
This outcome isn't... Is this an...
Yeah! Even Vache...
Indeed. But now...
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still going?
Fremine! Oh, you finally made it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that... Huh?
I looked everywhere, but has the trial...
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to... Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the...
Huh? So what do you see? What is it?
I believe I have now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime.
Huh? So when you...
In truth, however, I'm uncertain that...
Okay, let's try... The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems... Does that mean that... The second stone slate... This must be the point when the third slate shows the Hydro... Huh. Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy. We didn't believe that such a... That doesn't sound... That doesn't...
The prophecy... If we...
That doesn't... That doesn't... That doesn't... That doesn't...
Perhaps what is the truth and...
That doesn't... That doesn't...
It's not what the...
That doesn't... That doesn't...
We know from... this...
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea. The Hydro Archon would... Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded... The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Meripede was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what. The prophecy's contents... Huh? Oh, Paimon gets it now, but then...
Let's hear them.
Incredible.
We're...
All Fontaine, the evidence for that... Oh, and according to...
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first that could also
The Hydro Archon...
And yet, after many hundreds of years...
Yeah, isn't... So wouldn't it be trying to show the... In the end, did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, however, while you were able to decode all the information when we were at the ruin, now that the slate collection is complete...
What?
I believe I should share this truth not only with you. Your hypotheses regarding the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, he not one to give in. She eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this she poured. But if Fontaine... Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the...
That's way too much information for me. Wait, but if that's the truth...
This really...
Alas, your hypothesis regarding a key point of... They have not... The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro. You may also recall, therefore, that the people of Fontaine... Yes.
I think I'm in truth.
What should we... If that's the case...
Traveler, I would like to point out another small... About the fourth slate. However, as for the root cause of the catastrophe... This eruption was just a small warning.
It was both.
If we're talking about
the truth, the original sin.
That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the Opera House? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Teva. It has been greedily and once it has finished...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontainians out of Oceanids...
Precisely. That whale, therefore, when it left the primordial sea...
We just...
That is correct. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting...
That battle maniac. Anyway...
It is too late. It had already absorbed... Even if the entirety...
That's... We've already done... We've come so...
Indeed.
I'll fight it to the end.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Just as prophecies are... Ultimately, fate shall serve as your own...
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
monsters!
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina. Who are you?
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
Focalor? Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness knows the heavenly principles.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flooded. One was not amused. In fact, she knew full well that and as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I had to outwit the... I'm a genius, I know. Although, looking back now, it was... But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her...
So you were also once one of the...
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do. Even after becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as the me. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything, her strength. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human. Anyway, so all part of the plan. Do you still remember the final? In order that under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she... Instead, I suppose now you probably understand.
But Farina is only... Even though she has had a lot...
It has indeed. It's been and all along. She's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely.
Oh? Who permitted you to come onto this? All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your... Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontainians are upon me. I must, at all times, display the utmost elegance and nobility. our audience. The performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
Beg for mercy. Good grief. Crush. Touché. Beg for mercy.
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Shudder! Flood of frost! Yeah. Huh? Huh? Crush!
Who is one?
I swear by my sword!
Take it easy. Things are about to get dicey.
Beg for mercy.
Farina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid.
Wait a moment. You're near me? How can this be? Mirror me.
The prophecy.
What prophecy? The people will...
Oh.
What? But...
I will tell you.
But if there were...
I suppose that...
Huh?
Don't worry.
Play as...
That's right. If you can...
But...
Don't worry. Being a human, remember...
So...
To a combat.
A trial. The Maison Cardinalise has announced my What should I say? I'm sure you've all heard. In truth, as the god Focalor, once again, this... I thought I might...
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen.
Wait, what's going right? Calm down, Farina. Assertive. Now, I I was wondering if some you may consider. Now then!
So that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were in...
Personality? It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that justice is most fragrant when it blooms amid sin. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want me to. The scales of may law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want me to play. There is no trouble, so long as
Yes! Oh, yeah!
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now. Was I not just at the Opera House in person? Leave these kinds of things to Neuvillette. Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of trial are you truly looking forward to?
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to end all things. How could you hope to understand?
That's true. I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought, Lady Archon.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duties. The trial I await. It will come one day.
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say.
No need to... All right.
He is doing my... You're...
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked to take note of, I'm afraid things still don't look good.
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I wanted to see how far your human wisdom would allow you to analyze it. All manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass. Really? Have they...
I'm...
The day is finally over, but it's good to... Maybe this is fine. I just need to keep...
Lady Farina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a summary of the...
They'll be...
Lady Farina.
Indeed, my...
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Poisson.
Understood. I feel utterly exhausted.
Lady Farina, I've heard that the first... Oh, are you crying?
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god whose dominion is the waters, can I? So interminable, hundreds of years, I never imagined, have I? I want to tell all I can do is keep heart.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone, although I don't know what...
Share that's impossible. It was fated,
But even if you're just share it with me.
a witness. And if to that... She's right. But if they... No, Farina. But what if, Farina, is it such... If you let this think about it, long and hard. No. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to...
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been doomed to the most tragic fate. It seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the truth, is it not? How would you build...
Ah, good. Of course the Eudex of Fontaine has I'm sure you've...
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Linny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems that
And then I became one with the oratories, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would... Alas, your In truth, it is no... Oh, you have... My work over these last... But really, the vast majority has been... Had to be.
It was all part of your plan, then?
Indeed. This power accrued over 5 centuries, but...
So the oratories... The destruction of that divine throne...
Returning what's right. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the... Oh, what? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign.
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked. Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty? Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons possessed. I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that your original powers should be returned to you? Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human existence itself. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original sin, then, leaving matters of procedural in other words, defying the at this point, Iudex Nervilette.
So when I was invited at last, in the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alone, you are things being as they are. Surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervilette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Iudex Nervilette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection? I have a feeling that something huge just happened.
But since we're all still alive and haven't been dissolved, I assume whatever happened was good for us.
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
But didn't you say just a moment ago that it can't be defeated?
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the Primordial Sea from that creature. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I request the root of the Come with me, Traveler. The hour of execution has come. I've already done my best to separate the power of the Primordial Sea from the whale. Considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together. Feel its sorrow turning into hostility.
Quietly now.
Devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to manifest the authority of the ancient dragons. Witness the might of the Primordial Sea. I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress its root from within.
Quietly now. Game's up. Fun's over. Shudder! Crush! Freeze to the core! Shudder! Busted! Barbados! Guide us! Quietly now. Take it easy.
thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but... oh well. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. Well, actually, I had a feeling...
That power...
It's just that he is...
I simply did not have... So you may speak to me as equal. I have to agree. That kind of power... All in all... The point...
Well, being... So what sort of person...
Oh, right. His name is Sir Tologi.
I am unfamiliar with that name.
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous.
The foul...
Still nothing?
Ooh, that one!
Oh, but I suppose you understand...
Wait! Didn't you...
Actually, never mind that they all devouring such roiling as such. In other words...
What?
Not to worry.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Initiate emergency rescue! Hurry! Hey, lend a hand! Receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong.
Attacks post old soil skyship with the various people always Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the...
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The value for these big scoop... Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true...
Paimon's curious too!
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me. Oh, this time...
it's you. What brings you all here?
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt. Our residents are hot.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of you, but if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here. We just happen to share the same interests as Despina.
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to feature as friendly neighbors?
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour before the workers are able to go over there.
Huh? You're here too, Clorand?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few
Forget it.
I see you're...
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake...
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let her off that easy. All right, then everyone...
How did it go? Was it a good shot? Did Paimon look cute in it?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots. All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news, and freshness is the key. Also, not to brag.
Wow.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the...
Whoa, you're well...
That's a...
In truth, I told him that it was...
You're right.
Stay safe now. And...
Silly churl, Billy churl, silly Billy, hilly churl. Ooh.
Huh?
Toodaloo.
Phew! Huh?
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real
Looks like you've been missing us.
Duke! Did you...
Of course.
It's an honor to find...
No need to thank me.
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way. It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her...
Sir, please don't say...
but it look...
No, I just...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually... The boat that brought it... Still, if I might add...
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory.
Really?
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or
Did you really have to use the word... Well, then, to solo...
Is my hair messed up?
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try?
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Sure.
Huh? Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been?
Same old, as you can see.
Other than that flying ship.
That's why I decided...
You're too kind.
I'll just leave the spotlight to you two. I see.
He sure did win.
I'll tell them that there's...
Oh.
What change can there be? As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave...
Hey, everyone. The photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go.
There'll be a next...
Maybe. Who knows? All right. Last stop, the docks. Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch.
Traveler, Paimon. And Miss Charlotte.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of get?
It's a wondrous bag.
Trick a friend.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your...
You sure are working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants...
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pip.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out.
Lynette, could you come...
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got... Father says that...
That's all right.
Oh, I guess after Lady Farina...
A diplomatic gift!
Yes, it could have been done as... Furthermore...
That's true.
I would agree, but I suspect you'll have to...
But back to the...
They say that he's returned to Snesh...
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of...
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father!
Well, what do you know?
Are you going to take the Gnosis back to Snezhnaya?
That is our duty as harbingers. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a grand goal in mind, switching my masks is something well, that depends on many things. As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision.
And that's a wrap for me. Huh? You're...
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello?
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like. The sea breeze is quite pleasant.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-skid...
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon.
To move things about?
That's right. I guess this must be... All right, then.
Well, guess we sent Charlotte, huh? Shall we go see what Neverleft's doing? As long as he's not so busy that he doesn't have time... The entrance to the fortress! Ooh, he really is there! So, you really are here, Neuvillette! Paimon didn't think you were going to have free time this hour of the day.
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met. In any case, you came at a good time.
Aw, but alright, let's have it. Whoa. So that's what Focalor destroyed. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you...
For me, the Fontainians were but so long as those. In other words, when I.
Focalor must have counted on you to... Yeah! And then...
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask away. I will tell you the truth as I have investigated his case, but whether it be by sentiment or as for the judgment passed, whether it was due to the
Guess Focalor had... hang on a second. Back when Fontainians...
life as always.
Yeah! Lynette said the...
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, but instead a form of ritual. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would...
Paimon sorta gets it now. Either way, it seems like this ritual won't be of any further use, but it'll probably live on as a local custom.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. There, by chance, he awakened the all-devouring narwhal. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. At most, he would have had tangential liability. As for the judgment passed by the Oratrice during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association or Focalor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off, I cannot say.
Guess Focalor had Fontainians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became real humans. Hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got another question. Back when Fontainians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed Oceanids?
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontainians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to pray for children?
Yeah! Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine converge.
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, but instead a form of ritual. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Paimon sorta gets it now. Either way, it seems like this ritual won't be of any further use, but it'll probably live on as a local custom.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along, but whether it be by... As for the judgment passed, whether it was due to...
Guess Focalor had... hang on a second. Back when Fontainians...
Life has always...
Yeah! Lynette said the...
In truth, even those Oceanids who were...
Paimon...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along, but whether it be by... As for the judgment whether it was due...
Guess Focalor had Fontaine... hang on a second. Back when Fontaine...
Life has always...
Yeah! Lynette said the...
In truth, even those Oceanic...
Paimon...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Hang on. When we spoke to Lynn, we guessed that there
No. So regarding this specific issue, I would... In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, all right, Nervalet?
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any interference. I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. It's quite a novel blend. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
I do not know what you speak of.
Of course. How could I forget? You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing.
According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis to me. But I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you just did.
I've been training with my master, the Foul, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information I possess, I got from him. It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense, which is why there are so many problems in our... Regardless, you should... To live in itself is a blessing.
What do you mean?
No need...
This third
Master, if you're interested though, I could...
Next time, you believe we will...
I do.
That's what she told me. Whether...
The remains of... So that's what the...
All the same, assuming...
And she said that it would...
If she speaks the truth... I guessed that you might already be... That means that the gnosis...
Like... No, let's... Comparing the Traveler to the... That's what you say, but the...
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses.
All right.
Yes.
But... She said...
I suppose that would be the mystery. I suspect not. But once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes, life flows like water. And what ultimate...
a while since we last saw... Sunlight. But when the moon's out... Bathe in moonlight. Paimon has so many questions about his true identity. Let's go talk to him and...
That's right.
Neverlet! Sadine! Hey there! What are you two talking about?
Thank you for your concern. Oh.
So, what is it?
A Melusine named Kia.
And then?
That is all the information.
Huh?
Thank you for understanding.
Judging from Sadine's reaction, it must be pretty rare for you to investigate stuff personally. What's so special about this case?
I cannot tell you just yet, but it reminded me of certain past events. There could be complicated conflicts of interest.
Come on!
It is not my intention to... Long story short, there were few people I could trust, but I had two subordinates who were exceptionally trustworthy and capable. Carol, a Melusine.
They must have been a...
Indeed. The reforms damaged. The incident resulted in Carol take... All Melusines used to... I granted their wishes when some of them, including Carol, asked me to bring them. Many common folk believe that I share a Some of them, I have nothing... It has already happened.
There's the guards, the
Based on prior experience, the political system. However, since I...
Outside...
I understand where you are coming from, but there is not necessarily a connection between my responsibilities and how I perceive myself. You know very well about my true identity, and have even met others of my kind in other nations. Even though I was born with a human form, there is a fundamental difference between dragons and taking on the role. I have lived in Fontaine for a long... That does... Let us go.
Thinking. You called yourself a fish out of water, right?